We've got 8 Am I the A-hole Reddit stories for you guys today. If you're new here, my name is Sarby. I've made over 160 reading Reddit videos that I record live with my audience so that you guys can react with me and be included in the videos. We've got some juicy Am I the A-hole stories today, starting it off with Am I the A-hole for ruining my parents' marriage by finding my bio father and exposing my mom's lies. This one is absolutely diabolical, but stick around for 7 more Am I the A-hole Reddit stories, such as Am I the A-hole for telling my wife why our daughter doesn't trust her, as well as the story that we're gonna end the video on, Am I the A-hole for refusing to listen to my husband about my breasts. Like I said, y'all, juicy stories today. Really quick, YouTube came out with this new feature called hype. To be completely honest, I don't 100% understand it, but if you're on YouTube, you guys could hype up this video. Apparently that helps show it to new people. It doesn't benefit you in any which way, but it would mean the world to me. So please. Y'all know the drill. Let's lock in here and read some Reddit. Am I the a-hole for ruining my parents' marriage by finding my bio father and exposing my mom's lies? I, 19 male, always knew my dad wasn't my bio dad, and it was never a huge deal. I knew I was loved either way. Mom always told us my bio father hadn't wanted to be a dad and walked away once he learned she was pregnant. When I was 12, I started struggling with health issues, and we were repeatedly asked for family medical background. Mom swore she reached out to ask bio for any insight on his side, but he refused to give it. At the time, we were told it would be ideal to find out more if we could, but if not, we would do our best to treat me. My dad and I talked about it a lot, and he comforted me when I was upset that this guy who made me hated me so much that he wouldn't even help for a medical problem. It meant added complications and always having to explain to new doctors I was referred to that I only had half of my family medical history and could not get more. And really, it just sucked to think he cared so little if I could be seriously ill or not. A year ago, my aunt, mom's sister, told me that things might not be like they seemed, and maybe it would be a good idea to search for answers myself. She said the worst that could happen is he refuses to answer or gets mad at me for making contact. I asked her what she meant about things not being what they seemed, but she was tight-lipped on it. So I did a 23andMe. I ended up matching with a paternal aunt, and from there, my mom's lies were exposed to me. Damn, I mean, shout out the aunt. My paternal aunt was shocked to learn about me and told me she was 100% certain her brother had no idea either. She was a go-between for us at first to help set up contacting and a face-to-face meeting. When we met, he had medical info waiting for me, and he told me it was a thing I inherited from his side and he would be a donor if I ever needed one. He was also apologizing the whole time for not knowing me, and he swore he was never told my mom was pregnant. They broke up because she cheated, and he never heard from her again or her sister, aunt who pushed me to search, who he got along with during his relationship with my mom. The medical info helped, and I told him I'd have way more questions once I processed everything. Then I went to talk to my mom. At first she said it was all lies. Then she asked why I searched without saying anything. And when I told her why, she admitted it was true. Wait, I hope OP didn't snitch on the aunt. Like, there's certain snitching that should be done, and that was definitely one that should be done. She said she met dad after the guy she cheated on my bio father with left her, and she came up with the lie so we could be a normal family. And she never told my bio about me even after I got sick because she wanted to keep things as they were. That's just not a good excuse when your child has what sounds like a pretty serious medical issue that could be better solved if he had the other half's family medical history. Like, that's on some shit ass you never cared about your child type beat. I was hurt, but so was my dad. He was mad she denied my bio father and me the chance to know each other, but also that she lied to him the whole time they had known each other. He felt like she made him complicit in keeping me and my bio father apart, and he was super angry she was willing to make my health stuff more difficult because I didn't have the full background rather than doing the right thing and expose her lies years ago for my sake. You know what? I fucks with this adoptive dad, technically, or OP's dad for all intents and purposes growing up. I fuck with him. He sounds like a great guy. The medical info I got was actually helpful for my medical team, so it was worth it in that sense, but it has ruined my relationship with my mom, and my parents' marriage is done. Damn. My dad wants a divorce and already moved out of their house. My siblings blame me for it because they know what went down between us all. Fucking L siblings, dog. Like, what do you mean? I don't know how old these siblings are. It's probably just an age issue. Because, like, that's crazy. The only person to blame here is the mom. The mom could have just told the truth. The mom could have just gone out of her way to get medical info from the real bio dad to make sure that her own son was healthy. But she didn't. She chose to lie. Nah, dude, that's on her. I think your best bet is go live with your dad. Y'all are kind of in the same boat together. This mom sucks. This is definitely no contact worthy. And if the siblings are on the mom's side, fuck them, bro. Damn, for what? It's not like the bio dad like wanted full custody or anything like that. Although, can you imagine fucking getting a call one day from your sister like, hey, you got a 19-year-old son, bro? That would be insane. The siblings could be seeing it as you separated them instead of looking at it from a logical point. I mean, I think from OP's perspective, he's got to be like, hey, listen, what I discovered is what led to it, but I only had something to discover because our mother lied. That's the root of it. Yeah, sure. If you really want to get technical, what OP did led to the divorce between the parents. But he wouldn't have had to do that if the mother wasn't a piece of shit. And I'm guessing the siblings are young and they're children and they don't know where to put their anger, so they're putting it on OP. But like, either one day they're gonna realize that and come back around, or they're not worth keeping around. You don't want siblings who aren't able to put 2 + 2 = 4 together. Yeah, I still can't get over the mother letting OP suffer from his medical issues, all just to like save face a little bit. Mother was ready to risk his life by the fact that the father offered being a donor. It sounds serious as fuck. That's what I'm saying. This isn't like just a kind of minor inconvenience medical issue. If the dad's offering to be a donor, it's probably a pretty serious medical issue. And that wasn't enough to get you to fucking roll back on your lie? That's selfish as hell. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife why our daughter doesn't trust her? So for the last few years, me, 36, and my wife, 34, have had a very strained relationship due to the way my daughter and wife interact. It started when my daughter was 13. She came to her mother and confided her feelings about our family friend's son. My wife decided that this was too cute to share and told everyone during a family barbecue, including the boy. This embarrassed my daughter, and I told my wife to stop as this made our daughter upset, but my wife justified it at the time because they were just kids. Doing that to your 13-year-old in front of just family is crazy. But doing it in front of the actual boy that she was talking about is fucking insane. I see y'all's fucking chats. Like, this is a pretty common thing with moms. Like, what is up with moms wanting to intentionally embarrass their children? That's so sad, man. She really said, oh, hey, let's ruin the trust that my daughter could ever have for me forever. Because that's how you parent well. I've always known my wife has a hard time keeping secrets, but I thought she would have at least tried since this was a touchy subject, especially for a growing teenager with her first real crush. After this incident, I started noticing things like this more, like my wife openly telling everyone our daughter's business. Admittedly, most of the incidents were unnoticed by me for years because they were usually conversations between my wife and her friends when I wasn't around, as she didn't like it when I interrupted girl time. However, I am noticing it more now, like my wife telling everyone about my daughter's business, like texts, phone calls, and other secrets that she told her mom in the past when believing they wouldn't be told. As everything progressed, my daughter started getting closer to me more, and I became the default parent who deals with medical issues, school drama, and crushes, which has upset my wife because my daughter refuses to have girl talk with her anymore and is usually cold and doesn't like spending time with her. If it ain't the consequences of your own actions, here's an idea. If you want to have girl talk with your daughter, establish that you're a trustworthy person to have girl talk with. It's that fucking easy. You're not entitled to girl talk. You have to earn that shit, and you've clearly not earned that shit. Oh, we fucking will go cry me a fucking river. Oh no, bro. Oh no. My wife decided to try and punish our daughter after finding out she got her first boyfriend and wasn't told. Our daughter is 16 now, and I don't feel like it's necessary to punish her for these things when she has made a conscious decision to protect her privacy. I know she still loves her mom, but I understand not sharing things she doesn't want to get spread or blown out of proportion. I came home to my wife yelling at our daughter and demanding her phone, her laptop, etc., all over this situation, which it made me very angry because my daughter was in tears and she is still my little girl and doesn't deserve to be punished over something her own mother caused. I told my wife to leave her alone and that we would talk, but I also told her to give back the items, which my wife refused on and started screaming at me in front of our daughter. In parentheses, something I don't like. I like to have calm conversations away from our daughter to prevent making her feel scared or uncomfortable. Bro, this wife has so many fucking red flags, it's crazy. Therapy ASAP Rocky for this wife. I know this shit's kind of nuclear, but this would be the most disgusting thing to me. Like, if you choose to bring a child into this world and you so improperly parent them to this level, that's divorce worthy to me. I'd be fucking threatening that shit so heavy. I'd be like, you need to figure out A, how to keep a secret, and B, not blame not just other people, but your own daughter for your mistakes. It's either therapy or I'll serve you the papers tomorrow. That's just such an unlovable person. I can't imagine like being attracted to somebody who does this to their own spawn. Eventually, after multiple attempts to calm her down so we could discuss this properly, she grabbed my arm and started digging her nails into my skin. And I had had enough by then. I started ranting about how she always told our daughter's business to people and how basically the whole family and friends around us knew everything about our daughter's personal life and medical history. And then I told her it was her fault our daughter doesn't trust her anymore, which made my wife start crying, and she locked herself in the bedroom while I started comforting our daughter and went out to get her some dinner. But now I'm home and I'm getting some serious silent treatment for my wife, and I'm wondering if I could have possibly said something different. But I'm tired of her blaming our daughter every time she doesn't get told something. What is up with people fucking having to hear the hard truths and then acting like baby back bitches when they get it? It's just so brain dead. If you're the problem and you can't identify it, that's a skill issue. That is such a major red flag to me. If you can't at least look at your actions and be like, ooh, that's not good, that is a sign of just somebody who like doesn't live in reality. Your wife is not living in reality. You have explained to her that her actions have led to these consequences and she has yet to take accountability for it. If I'm OP, I'm dying on that hill, and I'm also being like, you need to figure this the fuck out or this marriage is not gonna work. Like, no way the daughter should be putting up with this. Silent treatment and abuse. This lady is a bully. That's kind of what I'm thinking too, Rind. I think you're cooking. Everything that this wife is doing is bully behavior. Taking a secret, weaponizing it to embarrass the person who told the secret, making themselves the victim, and causing physical harm. Like, those are all properties of a bully. This woman is literally just a grown-up bully inflicting it on her own family. Edit, I really don't want my daughter to think this is okay for her future husband to treat her this way, so I'm requesting my wife attends therapy by herself before she can join me and my daughter in family therapy, because I am not putting my daughter in a situation where her mother will probably use the therapy sessions to punish her, which people have mentioned. If she refuses, I will look into separation because I've realized my daughter needs her dad to keep her safe, and she won't be safe if her mother is acting this way and normalizing this behavior. I am scared for my future, honestly, but I am also hopeful I can show my daughter she is loved and safe. I will be sending my daughter to stay with her aunt for the rest of the week while I have this conversation because I'm not taking any chances that she'll have to listen to an argument between me and my wife. Damn, bro, OP is just nothing but a walking green flag. Like, anybody in this position should prioritize their kids, and that sounds like that's at least what OP is doing. So there's no way you could be the a-hole. You're doing everything right that you should do as a parent. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister her boundary will destroy her relationship with her nephew? I, 30 female, recently got married and had a baby. My sister, 24, does not like my husband and will not tell me why. When I first brought him home to introduce everyone, she was a bit standoffish, but in general, she doesn't really like people. Very few friends, never brings anyone home to meet the family, and has never wanted to spend time with anyone I brought home. Before my husband and I got married, I asked her if she had any issues with him. She said no, and that he seemed nice. I asked her to be my maid of honor and thought all was well. Okay, interesting. I see two scenarios. One, the sister's in love with the husband, or two, maybe the husband did something to the sister. Or I guess maybe the sister's just an asshole and maybe jealous of OP. I don't know. Something smells a little fishy. I just don't know which way the fish is stanking, if you know what I'm saying. Fast forward to last week, my husband goes to drop off something at the family home. In parentheses, sister lives with my parents, and came back looking shaken. I asked him what happened, and he said he knocked and went in the kitchen, and my sister told him my parents weren't home. He said he tried to give her the stuff I had asked him to drop off, and she told him to put it in the garage. In parentheses, it was food, even though they were in the kitchen. He said as he was picking the stuff back up to go, he tried making small talk, commenting about the weather, and she snapped at him, saying, "Don't fucking talk to her," and stormed out of the room. Okay, this is looking more unreasonable by the second. My husband has never given me a reason to worry about him being inappropriate or anything, but that was where my mind went first. We live near them and he had been gone for less than 5 minutes. I called my sister to ask what happened and she hung up on me. Messaged her and she ignored me. Until this morning when I bombarded her phone with messages because I wanted to resolve whatever was going on. She finally replied and basically said she hates him, has always hated him, and her only boundary is that he never talks to her. In the 7 years we have been together, they've spoken maybe 5 times, and that was mostly him greeting her. I asked her why, and she said she doesn't need a reason. She just doesn't like him and doesn't want him around. I asked her point blank if he had done or said something to make her feel like that, and she said he didn't do anything and that she doesn't need a reason to feel how she does. All I'm gonna say about this, y'all, is I don't believe in this. And this might just be like how my brain works, but like I don't think you can feel something towards someone or something and you don't have a reason for it. Because in my opinion, either you're incredibly not self-aware to where you can't parse out in your brain why you feel that way, or you're lying. And even if it was true, even if I don't believe that, even if you do just feel a certain way and you don't have a reason, then I think you're stupid. If you walk around and you see someone and you're like, I fucking hate that guy. I don't have a reason, but I just fucking hate him. I think that means you're just low IQ as fuck. And that goes with any emotion, by the way. Like if you go around and you're like, I fucking love that rock and I don't know why. You can't even put together, oh, I just love how that rock looks. I love how that rock makes me feel. I don't know, it just makes me feel good. Like that's a little weird to say, but if I have children, I hope I can raise them to be able to parse out their feelings, to figure out reasons for stuff. Because that's crazy. I don't understand how you can walk through life being like, I don't have a reason and I'm okay with that. Like that's a problem to me. If you can't put together how you feel, how are you going to understand and be able to change how you feel about stuff? If you're walking around being like, I feel this way about something and I don't know why and I don't have a reason. Like, what do you mean? Now, my family is very close. My other sibling, brother 29, and I sometimes dropped by unannounced to help my mom cook dinner or just hang out. My parents encourage this as they say they like having us around. I told her it's going to be weird if he can't even just greet her when we come over. She said she was sick of me having a stranger in her home. That's not a stranger. What do you mean? How long have they been together? I mean, I'm guessing if they're your husband, it's been at least a couple of fucking years, right? Oh, wait. Oh, it does clarify. Sorry. She said she was sick of me having a stranger in her home. I told her I didn't realize she felt that way about him and said I wouldn't ask him to drop stuff off without me being around anymore. Mind you, she's had 7 years to get to know him, and I didn't realize she still considered him a stranger. Honestly, OP, I'm gonna be so fucking real with you. You gotta put your foot down. I know this is the theme of this stream right now, but like skill issue. If your partner is bringing someone around for 7 years and you feel like they're still a stranger to you, that probably means you didn't go out of your way to get to know them, to ask them questions about themselves. Where's the accountability? If you are like, hey, I don't like him because I got to know him in 7 years and just learned I don't like him for various different reasons, fine, for sure. But if you're like, he's a stranger even though he's been around for 7 years, figure it the fuck out, dog. That is on you. She then said that was not the point, that she didn't want him talking to her at all, and that was the boundary she wanted respected. I told her that I would tell him and try to keep them apart, but that would mean her time with my son, her nephew, 6 months, would be affected because my husband will not be comfortable with our son being around someone who hates him. In parentheses, frankly, I'm now uncomfortable with it too, because I don't know what ideas she will try to put in his head. It's also going to affect my parents' time with him, because if my husband can't bring him around, it's going to affect the amount of times he goes over there. I didn't tell her, but that hurts my heart because they absolutely adore my son. He's their first and only grandchild so far, and they love spending time with him, always telling us to bring him over. She said I was playing the victim, painting her as a bitch and trying to trample the only boundary that she has set for herself. Don't get me wrong, I firmly believe there are some stupid boundaries. Even if this isn't a stupid boundary and like we want to say you're welcome to set any boundary for yourself that you feel like you need to set, that doesn't mean that you setting a boundary for yourself doesn't mean that there's going to be consequences to it. If you want to establish that boundary, you also have to establish the consequences that come with that boundary and be okay with that too. Like if it ain't the consequences of your own actions type beat, I'm sorry. If you want to live in a bubble your whole life, don't get mad when people don't want to go in that bubble with you. Is he a different race, Zanny? I guarantee that's it, bro. This whole story sounds like some small town shit. I guarantee that's where this is going. For sure, bro. Like them all living close together and this 24-year-old still living with her fucking parents. This is on some small town shit. I think you're cooking, Zanny. I'm currently thoroughly lost in trying to figure out the best way forward. Am I the a-hole here? here, and is there any way I can fix the situation? I mean, bro, I think you should just completely cut off your sister. Like, I think this is just a part of being a good partner. If your family doesn't like your partner for a stupid reason, you got to put your foot down. Guy or girl. Typically, we always see it with the dude not stepping up. I think OP is not stepping up here. OP needs to be like, hey, if you don't like my husband, you don't like me. Because this is a man that I feel like I vetted thoroughly and I brought around the family because I think he's a nice guy and is willing and able to love my family the way that I love my family. And if you don't like him for a reason that I deem stupid, which I would deem this is a stupid reason, I think it's OP's responsibility to set up a, hey, you don't like my husband, that's fine, but that means that you are not entitled to me or the rest of my family until you figure out a way to be okay with them. I would reach out to the parents. I'd be like, hey, sorry it has to be this way, but your fuck ass daughter who lives with you hates my husband for no reason. For those reasons, we will not be coming over anymore. If you want to see your grandchild, you come over to my place or you kick out the 24-year-old bum. Get her to start paying rent somewhere else and I will bring our child over whenever. That's what I'm thinking, y'all. I think OP needs to step the fuck up here. I think if OP were a man, we'd be saying that right now. We'd be like, yo, you gotta put your whole nuts on the table. OP ain't got nuts, but she gotta put those metaphorical nuts on the table. You know what I'm saying? Either they boinked or she threw herself at him. If they did boink, I could see the husband not bringing it up, but I don't understand why the sister wouldn't bring it up. Or if she did throw herself at him, why isn't the husband telling OP? I don't think it's that. I honestly believe what Zanny was saying first. The sister is just fucking nuts or racist. One of the two. OP dropped an edit. I never expected so many replies in such a short time, but I appreciate the responses. To clarify a few things and answer some questions. 1. I've mentioned it to my parents and they're aware of what's happened. My mom said she'll sit my sister down for a conversation, but from what I hear, my sister keeps making reasons to avoid it. She's busy, tired, wanting more time, etc. My dad says not to worry about it and it will blow over. My dad had a heart attack recently and is currently recovering, so I don't want to push it with them right now and stress him out. So I left it at that with him and changed the subject. Okay, yeah, I think that's the right move there, but your dad is not cooking. Dude, if she's known this guy for 7 years and it hasn't blown over yet, it's not just gonna blow over. God, that's such a boomer ass mentality, bro. 2, my partner is amazing and has never given me a reason to worry about him being around any women. I admit I was worried he had done something when he told me how he responded because I can't wrap my brain around why she would blow up over just small talk, but she herself said he didn't do anything. 3, I know my brother has had partners, but he hasn't brought any home. I myself didn't bring anyone home until I was serious about them and thought there might be a future. In parentheses, brought home a grand total of 2 guys, current partner, and my ex from college. 4, regarding her mental health, she has always had a bad temper, has snapped at me many times with no apology, even when she realized later she was wrong. For example, she accused me of taking her shoes, which she had actually just left in the vehicle. There has never been anything on this level before. Yeah, I mean, I think this is something else, bro. We gotta check. Is there an update on this? Oh, okay, wait, hold on. There's a couple updates. Okay, wait, let me look at the timelines on this. Commented a month ago. I think that's update 1. I think this is update 2, and then this is another. Okay, we do have updates, chat. They're just in the comments. God, I hate it when people do that. Okay, I was gonna say I was like a whole month, and you're just gonna leave us hanging like this. God damn. First update. To clarify, the only reason I consider my husband might have done something is because I'm in healthcare in an environment where all sides of all stories have to be looked at. My first instinct was that she was being out of line for no reason, but I always try to look at both sides and was trying to figure out why she said what she did. Both he and her said that he didn't do anything, and I'm going with that. Growing up, my brother was the golden child. Dad only wanted a son and kept talking about his son and his legacy. In parentheses, my dad has evolved over the years. He doesn't do that anymore and makes all of his children a priority now. My dad, when I was 10, is a different man to the one I have now. And my sister was my mom's favorite. She would always say that to us. In parentheses, I never wanted to be the calm princess my mom wanted. I wanted to make my dad happy and be as boy-like as possible and refused to wear the dresses and other clothes she wanted me to. That relationship has also evolved. My mom and I are on much better terms now than when I was a kid. I was the oddball and my siblings and I weren't really close until everyone was past 14 or 15. Then we started finding shared interests, etc. My husband was beyond happy to marry into the family. My parents treat him like their own son, and he has said many times they feel more like family than his own family. He has 3 brothers, but he's the youngest by 10 years and felt left out a lot. He once told me he was excited to have a sister-in-law as he has none of his own and isn't close with his brothers. So this whole thing has him down, and I feel horrible for even considering he has done anything inappropriate when I know deep down he hadn't. I was just trying to figure out what was going on. My sister told my dad she will sit down with us to talk about it this afternoon when I get off work. So waiting to hear what she says in his presence. Will update again after we talk. Okay, that one seemed more like a background info, little childhood lore / trauma dump. So I feel like we got to move on to the second update to like really actually get info. I'm still really curious, bro. Like, is the husband a different race? Because I think that would pretty much answer our questions if the answer is yes. Update 2. Spoke with my dad and sister a couple hours ago. Basically, my dad asked both of us what happened. I gave my side. She gave her side. My dad asked her if she was sure she had no reason to do that. She said she had a reason, but she didn't want to say. My dad said, well, that's that. We won't force anyone to share anything. She then says, okay, she'll tell us why. Stupid response from the dad. Stupid reaction from the sister. I guess it'll get out what needs to get out, but what the fuck? She said when she first met my husband, he asked her about a guy. Let's call him Mr. L. She said he asked her how Mr. L was doing. Then she turns to me and goes, yeah, I know you read my diary, the guy I had a crush on, and wrote all my private thoughts about. The first day your husband met me, he asked me and that he told me everything I needed to know about him. Okay, so just to clarify, because that was really poor grammar. I think what she's saying is I don't like your husband because he asked me about a guy I had written about in my diary, which made me think that OP read my diary and then told my husband. I think that's what that's saying, right? Which also still, even if that's true, that's not something to get mad at the husband for. That's something to get mad at OP for, right? I'm still flabbergasted that she would say that because first of all, I didn't know she had a diary. And even if I did know, I would never read it. I had a journal once and my cousin read it, teased me mercilessly. I would never wish that upon someone else. I was surprised at first, then I got pissed because I realized she was making stuff up at that point. She met my husband 6 years ago. In parentheses, we had been dating a year before I introduced him to the family. 2 years ago, my sister went abroad for a trip, in parentheses, college related. A friend of mine who started school late and was in the same program as her was on the same trip. I recognized the name as the hot professor my friend came back gushing about. I asked my sister if that was the professor that worked at the university and she went, yes, you see, is that your confession? I asked her how my husband asked her 6 years ago about someone she only met 2 years ago. Oh, yeah, that's fucking crazy. So to reiterate what's happening here, sister said, when I first met your husband, he brought up somebody that he should have known about. The only way he could have known about that is if you or him read my diary. But what OP is saying is the person that the sister is talking about, she didn't meet when she first met the husband. The person she's talking about, she'd only met 2 years prior, and she first met the husband 6 years prior. So basically, the sister is like going through psychosis or something, where she came up with a scenario that couldn't have happened because the timeline doesn't make sense. There's no way that he could have brought up this hot professor 6 years ago when the sister only met the hot professor 2 years ago. I see you guys in chat. Some of you guys are saying that it's more of like an attention and drama something, but like I low-key think this has to be a little bit of psychosis, right? Like if you're coming up with all this shit, I think there has to be something mentally going on here. Because if she wanted to make it all about her, she could have come up with something that actually made sense. You know what I'm saying? Could be histrionic personality disorder. What the fuck is that? Hold on. Googling with Sarby time. HPD is a mental health condition characterized by a pervasive pattern of excessive emotionally and attention-seeking behavior. Oh. Individuals with HPD often engage in dramatic, theatrical, and provocative behaviors to gain attention and validation. Shit, bro. I think we've all met someone like this. I can think of like 8.5 people who fit that category. Oh, Zircon did drop a different definition. I want to read that too. Histrionic personality disorder is a personality disorder characterized by a pattern of excessive attention-seeking behaviors, usually beginning in adolescence or early adulthood, including inappropriate seduction and an excessive desire for approval. People diagnosed with the disorder are said to be lively, dramatic, vivacious, enthusiastic, extroverted, and flirtatious. Y'all, that's kind of fucking scary because I feel like all of those you could maybe throw on me. Like, I would never, but damn. I'd say I'm lively. I don't know if I'm like dramatic. I can make things dramatic, but I don't really like a lot of drama in my own life. I try to avoid it. To be honest, off the top of my head, I don't know what vivacious means. Enthusiastic, definitely. Extroverted, definitely. I can be a little flirtatious, but only with the people I want to flirt with. You know what I'm saying? No lie, drama when you're a third party is kind of entertaining. That's how I feel chicken sandwich. Like, this is my daily dose of drama, but then in real life, I'm like, please keep that shit away from me. A lot of you guys are saying like this also kind of ties together a little bit with narcissism, which is what I was thinking. Okay, I asked her how my husband asked her 6 years ago about someone she only met 2 years ago. She stopped talking for a good minute, like her brain was buffering. Then she snapped at me that I just didn't understand how hard it was for her to keep having a stranger in her home, and stormed off. That's a super weird reaction to that. My son is going to grow up without getting to know the only auntie he has, but I cannot fix the situation that she is making up. Growing up, I was not an awesome sibling. There were petty arguments, stupid fights over stuff like the TV remote, what to have for dinner, etc. But I thought we had a better relationship the last few years. We were sending each other memes, cracking jokes, took a few trips together, dinners, lunches. She was my maid of honor at my wedding and visited me at the hospital every day I was there. Emergency C-section with complications. I was there for a week. And checked on me every day postpartum for the first couple months. I'm still hoping this can somehow be fixed, but if she's making up lies and unwilling to communicate, I don't see what I can do. You can't make an irrational person be rational. Exhibit A, politics right now in America. Like, there's a party with empathy and there's a party that genuinely thinks irrationally. I'll let you put together which ones I'm talking about. Yeah, I just think like if they truly have irrational thoughts, there's no way that you're gonna get around to them, and your best bet is just to be like, I can't spend time with you. I can't put the people that I love and care about around you because you literally don't have the capacity to rationally think in a way that benefits the people around you. Okay, so there is an edit on the update. Oh, sorry, there's two edits. First one, I asked my husband about it. He doesn't remember asking her anything about any guy. He doesn't recognize that name at all. My husband and sister have never dated since so many people are asking. Yes, I know for a fact the areas he went to school and work are far from where we are, and the way we were raised, we didn't go out much. Yes, my husband is a different race from us, but I would like to think my sister isn't racist. We are Asian, he's black. Y'all, I can't even cap. Asians low-key kind of are a little bit racist to black people. Like definitely like traditional full Asians in the older generations, that's pretty common. I can't even lie. Coming from somebody of Asian descendants, it is a little bit ingrained in Asian culture to be racist to black people. I think that's 100% it. That has to be it. Edit to add, I see a lot of people calling her racist. I didn't think it was that because my ex was Asian and she didn't seem to like him. But we were only together 6 more months after I introduced him to the family, so they didn't interact anymore. My family at its core is Asian, starting with my grandparents, but over the years there have been a lot of mixing, a lot of mixed cousins, etc. She gets along with my cousins, half black, half Asian, and his wife who is black. Regarding the mental health, I brought up her anger issues in the past, and she doesn't want to try any type of therapy or evaluation. She's a grown woman, and as long as she isn't a direct threat to herself or exhibiting violence to others, it is completely her choice. Some people are mad I use the word female. Odd thing to be mad about. I use the words male and female on a regular basis. Never known it to be an issue. Okay, this is totally me being, I don't want to say like a dickhead necessarily, but what I will say is whenever women are referred to as females, it tends to come from black people, and OP's husband is a black man. So I'm not saying that he's using it in a mean way. I'm just saying that there are a lot of people who do use it in a mean way, and I feel like in the linguistics that it's used, I typically hear it from black men a lot. So like that might be the reason. I don't think it's an issue hearing it from a woman. I think it's an issue hearing it from a man. If a man's walking around talking females this, females that, that is a red flag. And like maybe that's just how they speak and they're respectable, but like I would say more often than not the answer is no. The problem is female in certain contexts comes off as a dog whistle type word. I agree. Or like a cat call. It almost comes off as like demeaning. Like you would never call a man a male when the males walk around. I think the argument for racist is still possible. Do I think it's a little fishy that she apparently interacts perfectly fine with other family members who are black? Yeah. Do I think that that completely washes away the potential racist allegations? No. It's giving a little bit of like, oh, well, she has black friends, so she can't be racist. I think there's some racism that's more like aggressive than other racism, but it's still racism. Like, I think you can be fine interacting with black people, but then get mad about your family member dating a black guy or marrying a black guy and then manifesting hatred that way. It's not as bad as walking around saying the shit that white supremacists say, but like you can still be racist in other small ways. Small updates. Everyone's saying she needs therapy, etc. I've suggested it to her in the past because she has some anger issues, but she always says no, and you cannot force someone to go to therapy. It has to be their own choice. I spoke to my dad again this morning. He said he tried talking to her again, but she's avoiding the topic. I told him don't worry about it and that he and my mom are welcome at my place, but I wouldn't be coming around as often to a place where I have safety concerns for my son and my husband. My dad said he understands. My mom is a bit pissed about the whole situation, mostly about what my sister did, and backs my stance. My mom told me she asked her how she would feel if someone was treating my brother the same way she was treating my husband, and she threw a fit saying my mom was seriously trying to guilt her. I think the sister has some sort of victim complex. Like every corner, every rebuttal is just, well, you guys are ganging up on me and you're being mean to me and trying to make me feel bad. It's like, yeah, bro, we're trying to make you feel bad because you're doing something wrong. You're ruining the family dynamic for no good reason. If you gave a good reason, we can maybe figure something out, but you're not giving a good reason. She threw a fit saying my mom was seriously trying to guilt her, which I take to mean she knows she was out of line, because why would you feel guilty if you hadn't done anything wrong? For those saying I need to tell my parents to kick her out, that is not an option. She just finished college and is looking for a job. She can't afford to move out even if she wanted to. Listen, I'm all for parents supporting their kid, but like if the kid's causing a problem, or I'm just assuming this, maybe this isn't the case, but did she graduate 2 years ago? Like how recently are we talking? I guess she said just finished college, so maybe she took a little bit longer to finish college. But still, bro, I mean, like, I don't know. If your child is causing issues, I could be like, hey, you gotta fucking stop causing issues or go find a job and move out. You know, like, we might be at odds now, but keep in mind this is my only sister. We were not that close, but usually we're there for each other in the past. Mad as I might be at her, I don't want to see her homeless. To the people mad about the whole race thing, I have 27 aunts and uncles. Yes, my grandparents were busy. Holy fuck. Well, actually, I'm in the same boat. I can't even lie. I also have like 27 aunts and uncles. Wait, hold on. I was thinking 27 aunts, uncles, and cousins. You're saying 27 aunts and uncles? That's insane. Okay, sorry. I put that together. That's fucking wild. I have 27 aunts and uncles. Yes, my grandparents were busy. My family is well and truly mixed. There's black, white, Hispanic, more Asian, Filipino. If you can think of the race, it's probably mixed in my family. That's why I said I didn't think it was because of his race. She seems to hate most equally. She and my brother don't always get along, but she's being extra nice to him. He told me she told him that he's the only one on her side and everyone is against her. However, he has made it clear that he is not taking sides. That's honestly worse, bro. There is clearly someone in the wrong here, my guy. You got to take a side. He's not going to change how he interacts with anyone and is speaking to both of us. That's completely fine by me. He's her brother and isolation probably won't help her in any way. If you're not taking a side, to me, that means you're not willing to hold her accountable when she wants to talk about it. And you're just like maybe nodding your head, which only helps her position. If she's in a position where she's like, all of my family members are telling me I'm wrong, that's going to be a more likely situation where she will actually take the steps she needs to get help for whatever condition this is. I know we theorize stuff, but we don't really even know. But if there's even one person who's just being like, oh yeah, sure, bro, whatever you say, that is going to hurt more than it's going to help. You guys are saying in the chat, the she seems to hate most equally is kind of a weird way to put that. Like, is your sister a hater? I don't know. This whole thing is wild. Am I the a-hole for throwing my ex's words in his affair partner wife's face after she spent the last 5 years taunting me? Wait, so OP's ex's words in their affair partner's wife's face. We just gotta read this one, I think. I'm using way too many brain cells to try to figure out what that means. I, 33 female, found out my ex-husband, 35 male, and the father of my 2 kids, 11 and 9, was cheating on me with Dana, 30 female, who he worked with. Once I kicked my ex out, he did everything to try and win me back. He even shared the fact Dana was sterile and was just some safe fun because he knew he couldn't get her pregnant. Oh, well, if she was just some safe fun, come on back, bro. Totally get it. I understand why you cheated on me. Dude, dudes actually think stupid shit like that actually makes sense and is going to help their case. I think if someone told me that, I would literally fucking lose my mind. Send me on a grippy sock vacation if someone tells me that shit. Because I'd be like, why the fuck did you think that would make me feel better? He said he would never actually want something, in parentheses, not someone, like that. And he loved me and our kids. I was having none of it. I didn't pity Dana either because she knew about me. We had met. She knew about the kids too. So to me, she was a homewrecker and I wasn't going to warn her about my ex's feelings on her. My ex continued to try to win me back throughout our divorce. The night before, he sent more texts begging me to call it off and let us be a family again. And he said more degrading things about Dana, but I didn't listen to him. I was done. Even if he wasn't living with Dana, which he was, I wasn't going to buy, he'd change. I mean, bro, why wouldn't you share this shit with Dana? Like, I'm screenshotting this shit, sending it to my lawyer, and then sending it to Dana. Hey, bro, this fucking bum-ass dude who cheated on me and ruined our marriage that involves kids, he is saying this crazy shit about you. Okay, so now that I'm getting into the story, I think they're saying the affair partner is the wife, like the affair partner wife. I thought this was saying the affair partner's wife and was just a typo, but I understand what this means now. Okay. From the day my ex moved in with Dana, she was smug. She called me all dried up, said my pussy clearly wasn't tight enough anymore for my ex, and that he clearly felt repulsed by whatever stretch marks the kids left behind. I ignored her. She got herself kicked out of the kids' school a few times for using that language in front of others. Twice was in front of one of the teachers during the PT conferences. In front of the kids? At school? Please tell me you got evidence of this and you're showing it to lawyers. Come on. Like, ain't no way do I want this woman around my kids. For years, I've ignored it and tried to be the bigger person, but recently she was extra nasty about me and the fact I've been single since the divorce. She tried to say it was clear no man wanted me, not even the father of my children, and how he thought so little of me. She said he only says nothing because of the kids, but she knows. She knows that's why he went to her. So in response, I screenshotted several of the texts my ex sent me where he degraded her and told her she should see what he thinks of her. She told me I was sick and twisted and how dare I dig into her infertility. How woefully stupid do you have to be? Oh, hey, here's screenshots of the text from my husband talking about how you're fertile and how he doesn't want you. Oh, you're making fun of my infertility. Girl, I just think you gotta find the block button. Find the block button and do whatever you can to make sure your kids don't have to fucking deal with this crazy motherfucker. Then it was, why would I not tell her if any of these things were true? I told her I owed her ass nothing after she knowingly slept with the man I was married to and contributed to the breakup of my children's family. I told her I found her as disgusting and repulsive as him, but I had done my best to ignore her all these years while she degraded me. Then I told her to look inside her house for all that nasty shit and reminded her to check the dates on the messages. She texted me several times in the aftermath. I muted her, can't block while they're together because she could be with my kids in an emergency, and the court order states we must keep this access open. Blah. So now the plan is to unmute whenever the kids are over there and mute the second they come back home to me. What an absolute mess. Can you not use stuff like this as ammunition for full custody for your kids? Like, I'm genuinely curious. Like, I would be so fucking worried that I had to send my kids to this half the time. Like, half the time they're dealing with this crazy ass motherfucker saying the most crazy shit in a public setting, by the way, at school. Can you imagine what she's saying to these kids behind closed doors? And also, like, what a fucking shit ass person to like salt in the wound. You already home wrecked this woman and now you gotta fucking start saying some derogatory shit about her. I'm so shocked OP didn't show them earlier. Don't get me wrong, don't make fun of somebody who's infertile if that's like something they're sensitive about, obviously, but like, I'm a big fan of like, you can't be firing shit off when you have like such a clear bullseye on your chest. Like, to me, if OP would have clapped her back with like, hey yo, not only are you infertile, but the man you're with is fucking saying he'll leave me and he doesn't love you and he never can love you because you're infertile. Like, is that probably mean and wrong? Yes, but in my opinion, she's asking for it, bro. You can't be slinging shit and not expect someone to sling shit back at you. I couldn't imagine having this woman take care of my kids. I would just be collecting evidence. I'd honestly be egging it on to collect evidence so you can send it to a lawyer and they can present it in front of a court and be like, this woman is unstable. This woman should not be around kids, especially kids that are not her own, that she's willfully talked shit about. The kid's parents or the kid's mother. Am I the a-hole for pulling away from my identical twin sister even though I know it has caused her to spiral? I, 18 female, am an identical twin. Our parents encouraged an insanely close relationship to the point of codependency, and my sister fell hard into it while I resented the hell out of it. Our parents even named us super similarly. My sister is Katie and I'm Casey, and the spelling of my name was chosen intentionally. Our parents wanted us to match always. Damn, I mean, I know it's already hard to like separate yourself from your own identical twin, but like, way to make it fucking harder from them, you know? Like, I know with twins it's hard because they're always like, oh, I want to be my own person. I don't want to always be known as like one of a pair, but they literally made it so fucking hard. My parents and sister always expected us to do everything together. We shared a bedroom and our bed our whole lives until June. That's when I packed up my stuff and I moved out of our parents' house. Our parents insisted to every school we went to and every teacher we had that we'd be in the same class and sitting next to each other all year. When we did field trips, we were to be each other's buddy. If one was invited to a birthday party, then the other was assumed to be invited too, regardless of whether they were or not. All of our extracurriculars were the same, and it was fucking miserable for me because I hated them. Those were all my sister's interests, not mine. Anytime I tried to set boundaries with my sister, she'd discard them and would carry on as normal, and normal for us was being codependent and super enmeshed. I was never very close to our parents, but I gave up on ever having a good relationship with them when I was 11, and they got mad at me for keeping a secret friend from my sister. They actually accused me of bullying because I wanted to keep a friend to myself. That's how bad things were. God, man. I mean, just an example of parents who should not be fucking parents, because what is this parenting style? I'm trying to understand why. Like, why are you trying to take your twins and make them into one person? That sounds awful. And honestly, quite frankly, weird as hell. My sister has always hated when someone liked me and wanted to be my friend, but didn't like her or want to be her friend. For my sister, we're one and the same. If you like one, you like both. She doesn't see us as our own individual people, just as twins, identical twins who are alike in every single way possible. I remember being in the hospital when I was 14 and she wasn't allowed to stay with me, and my parents were removed from the hospital for abusing the staff over enforcing that rule of no minors overnight. This is fucking crazy. Someone said it in chat. This is scary behavior. I was released after 2 days, and those were the best nights of sleep I had until that point. I also felt like I got some breathing room, which was needed. My sister never slept. She was an absolute mess because I wasn't there. It made me wish I could have stayed in the hospital indefinitely. We were supposed to go to the same college, live together, and our parents planned on bullying admin at our school of choice into assigning us as roommates. But then I acted like I wasn't going to college. I stayed with a friend and blocked my family for a while before me and my friend moved out of state to a community college. I just started everything. I got a job too, so I can support myself, which is also my reason for community college. I did unblock my sister, and it's been awful. I've debated whether I block her again or not, but if I do, I know it will be a forever thing. There's no doing it for now. If I block her again, I won't ever have a relationship with her again, so I'm trying not to and seeing if she can try and grow. But she fell apart without me. She's already dropped out of college. She's back living with our parents. She has pleaded with me to come and take her home with me. Our parents used her phone to call me and say I'm awful for pulling away from my sister who needs me. They said I'm being abusive and accused me of trying to kill her with this. I can see her downward spiral, but I just can't be enmeshed with her for the rest of my life. I want to be me, not Katie's twin, Casey. I low-key think you should cut off the sister solely because she's still tied with your parents. If anybody is the real bad apple in this, it's your parents. What I will say is I think one more time before you block your sister, I think you need to explain to her why. Maybe even in like a written message, like something that she can go back on and look at where you're like, hey, I'm blocking you. This is not healthy. This is not how two separate people should ever live their lives in any type of relationship. Not in a marriage, not in siblings, not in twins. This is absolutely 0% healthy. And you also need to explain to her like, hey, our parents are causing this. Our parents are the reason that you're a mess right now and you're a wreck. This isn't on me. I need to go do my own thing. That's just how it's gonna be. You need to figure out how to get there too. Reach out to me again when you want to figure out how to do it. And then I'd block her. I think that's truly for OP to thrive and become their own person and put this behind them. They need to cut this family off. Don't get me wrong. It sucks for the other twin. It's very, very sad, but oh my God, would I not wish this on anybody. And I think like going no contact with the parents means right now that you go no contact with the twin too. Email me when you're ready to fucking break off from our parents. It must suck not being allowed to be your own person. No, for real. I mean, to be completely honest, y'all, I think a lot of parents do this to their kids anyways, but not like you have to be the same as your twin. It's not like as drastic as that, but it's like you have to do these sports. You have to be like this. You have to go to college for this. Like, I think parents actually do this. These parents are just doing it in like a way that's more detrimental. I actually think this is worse. Like being codependent on somebody your whole life when like you're already probably feeling the pressure of like literally looking the exact same as this person, being compared to them all the time. Like that can't be healthy. I told my friend why I didn't want to date him, and our friends are saying I broke him. Am I the a-hole? So my 21 female friend of 10 years, Mark, not his real name, 23 male, called me yesterday to meet him for lunch and that he had something important to discuss with me. I had free time, so I agreed. I met him already there and joined him. We had lunch, then we talked a bit about random things. Then he cleared his throat and started speaking. He first told me that he didn't understand why I was dating my now boyfriend when he's a better match for me. I asked him to explain, and he basically went on about how he liked me first and he met me first. He's more good looking, knows me better, he's taller than my boyfriend, and more successful. In parentheses, which is not true in a way. My boyfriend works and didn't grow up with wealth, while Mark's entire life is funded by his parents' money. Dude, it's the I liked you first and I met you first for me, bro. Are you kidding me? It's giving somebody who was handed everything for his entire life. I don't know if this guy knows this, but none of that is criteria for liking someone, by the way. At no point was it, I feel like you're really in love with me and we have a good connection. It's just, I'm more successful, I'm taller, I know you better, I was there first. I don't know what brain dead dude needs to hear this, but that's not good dating criteria. He told me he didn't understand how I can be with him when he's always been around waiting for me. I was out of words and asked him if he wanted me to be honest, to which he said yes. I told him that I would never want to date him given how I seen the way he treated his past girlfriends. He ghosts them when he feels like it and just expects them to be there waiting. I told him he's too immature and irresponsible for me and that dating him would be exhausting. I also explained that the reasons I mentioned was why over time I started putting a distance to our friendship because I didn't like the way he treated the women in his life. Yes, bro, give this baby back bitch a wake-up call. When I was done, he was just quiet. He just excused himself and left. Bro ghosted. Like... He didn't like what he was hearing and he just left. I went home and went about my day. Later in the evening, our other friends started asking what I did to Mark and that he's been a wreck since he met with me for lunch. He's drinking and not telling anyone what happened. I explained to them what happened and they are saying I was harsh, that I broke him, blah, blah, blah. But I think someone had to tell him the truth, so Reddit, am I the a-hole? I mean, he told you to tell him the truth. I feel like you can't go up to someone with an entitled attitude of like, oh, hey, you should be with me instead of your current boyfriend because clearly I know better for you than you know for you. And then proceed to also give them the most dog shit reasons why they should be with you. If you have the audacity, whatever comes next is deserved. Oh, wee woo, bro. Someone finally told you the truth. Deal with it. Easy, not the a-hole. I kind of want to see what these edits are. OP said, I'm thankful for the great comments and people giving advice on my safety. I'll definitely be more aware of my surroundings going forward. I don't know if Mark is a violent person, but then again, this incident has proven that I may not know him like I think I do. Mark is currently blocked from everything. Our mutual friends who are supporting him and calling me out are also blocked. Oh yeah, I didn't even address that, bro. If you hear this situation and you're defending the guy who came into the conversation entitled and couldn't hear the truth and is now whining about it and drinking about it, and they want to side with that guy, you gotta cut those people off just as much as the other guy. This is also a learning lesson to me to distance myself a lot more quicker next time I see red flags in the future friendships. Oh my god, wait, hold on. I think there's an update to this chat. Oh, this user has deleted their account. Fuck. Literally, their edit 3 is I have an update, but I guess there is no update. Maybe the real update was the friends we made along the way. I'm so sad, y'all. No update on this one because OP hates us. Or Mark found the post. Good, bro. Hopefully he read the comments. I feel like people like that don't figure it out after one person, bro. They need to be continually put down by people who are telling them the exact same things for their little rat brains to finally be like, maybe there's something wrong with me. Imagine siding with a guy who called dibs. Also, I just don't have sympathy for people who, like, if you didn't make a move while you were both single, like, you missed out, dog. It sounds like there was opportunities where you were both single and you didn't ask her out. Skill issue, man. I just refuse it, chat. Unless somebody has, like, an absolute dog shit partner who's, like, abusing them or something like that, I cannot imagine going up to somebody and trying to be like, hey, you should date them instead of me. This guy was clearly delusional, but like, I've met some people in my life where I'm like, damn, you're dating him instead of me. That's kind of an ick. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie, y'all. That's so fucking egocentric, whatever. But like, genuinely, I've met some people where I'm like, you're such a catch. Why the fuck did you date that guy? Am I the a-hole for reporting my ex and her husband to the police for stealing my property? My ex-wife, 39 female, and I, 41 male, share custody of our 3 children, 16, 14, and 12, equally, and no child support is paid. Our marriage didn't end on the best of terms, and we communicate through an app only when required to for the sake of the kids. She is since remarried and has a 15-year-old stepchild and a 13-year-old stepchild. Her husband and I do not speak also. Yikes, that is a scary family situation, I can't lie. We've had some issues with my ex keeping property that is mine if the kids have it on her time. It started with a cell phone. I gave our eldest my old phone when one of X's stepkids broke his phone. My ex then told our oldest they were keeping it at her house, and she refused to return it even when I went over there and asked. I was told she had every right to confiscate it. I followed up with an email, and she told me to get over it and she would not hand it over. And the oldest is 16. What the fuck? Like, I understand maybe being like, hey, when we get our kid a phone, we tag team like what that looks like and if they should be allowed to have a phone, but like he already had a phone. He's also at an age where I think it really does make sense to have a phone. That's such fucking weird behavior. The next time our daughter 14 brought some of my old tools into school with her for an assignment, but it was a custody exchange day, so she left my house but went home to her mom's. My ex believed it wasn't appropriate for her to have them, so she took them and refused to return them to me. Again, I got a written exchange as proof. Yeah, for real. Like, all of this is going to be documented if you're using an app that like documents all this, right? I assume that this meant that they're using one of those like court approved apps where like everything is officially documented or whatever. I think that's what that means. The last time was with our youngest. I let him use an old iPod for a class assignment on recent old tech gadgets. Apparently, her 13-year-old stepchild had the same assignment on a different day, and she decided both should get to use it. I told her it was my property and she had to return it. Got another email exchange, and then I contacted the police. Yeah, wait, is it like the same, like if you steal like $700 worth of someone's property, you can file like a felony against them or whatever? I know that applies for corporations, but does that also apply to personal property? Because that's where my head's going. Like at this point, everything that you've mentioned probably racks up to $700, or at least maybe close. That's what I would have waited for, if that makes sense, right? It applies to personal property too? Okay. Yeah, that's what I would be doing as OP. I'd be like, hey, give me my shit back or I'm filing a felony against you. iPod being called old, that hurt, bro. I still probably buried somewhere at my parents' house have my old iPod Nano. I begged my parents and my grandparents to get me one, bro. I wanted one so bad. My ex gave the stuff back, but she lost her mind over me getting the police involved for petty stuff. She said I could have demanded it back after her stepkid used the iPod, and I told her she wasn't giving any of it back. And what I give for my kids is not for her stepkids. She brought up how more serious trouble could have come from it, and I told her it would be deserved because you cannot steal someone else's property. She told me it was just my spiteful side emerging because none of it was a big deal, or I never would have given them to my kids, which I think is the dumbest argument. The phone was because her stepkids broke our eldest phone, and she wasn't about to replace it. Our daughter needed tools for school, and it was only for school, and she wanted to return them to me, but her mom said no. And then the iPod was just for our youngest. I'm not here to help her stepkids in any way. My ex and her husband and their mom, if she's still in the picture, can do that. I think OP's cooking here. I don't think OP's the a-hole. I just feel so ungodly bad for these kids, man. Like I mentioned, like the dad's doing everything right here. I think calling the police holds her accountable to what she was doing wrong. And now she's just trying to play the victim and be like, oh, you didn't have to make it a big deal. I think she was probably testing a little bit how much she could fuck with you. And you just proved to her that she can't fuck with you at all. God damn, bro. I can't imagine being those kids. If I'm OP, bro, I'm figuring out every little loophole to try to get full custody of my kids. I guarantee too that those kids have a awful time over at that mom's place. I'm sure of it. Having one of the stepkids break the other kid's phone, and then the punishment there is, oh, well, then now you give your phone to my kid and you don't have a phone because you broke it. But it doesn't sound like that's what happened at all. Having to be pawns in your parents' petty little feud must suck. I mean, it's not even like OP's trying to play the game though. That's the thing. OP has to do this. Like, she's literally stealing his property, and like, I'm a firm believer, if you let someone push you around a little bit, they're going to keep pushing that boundary, and it's going to be easier for them to do so because you never did anything about it from the start. If you nip that shit in the bud right away, it's much harder. I don't think OP did anything wrong. I think OP was forced to play a petty game because of the wife, and he just chose to put his dick on the table and not get pushed around, which I don't blame OP for. There's only one person being petty in this story, and it's the wife. Am I the a-hole for refusing to listen to my husband about my breasts? This actually does have an update to it as well. Really quick, I just wanted to remind you guys I have over 160 reading Reddit videos on my YouTube channel. So if you want more of this once the video is done, feel free to dive into another video with more juicy Reddit stories. As well as if this is your second or third video, just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. Would greatly appreciate it and would love to see you more on my channel. I want to have a breast reduction surgery. I will not be asking him to spend any money on me. We both work and we put aside equal amounts of money for private accounts, for private savings and spendings. So please do not make it about money. I've been talking talking about this surgery since I turned 40, but I have dreamed about it since I was 15. Whenever I spoke about it, he would sit silent and listen, in parentheses, supported me, I thought. Then he asked if I wanted him to go to my first consultation, and I was very happy. Consultations are usually private here, but he wanted to tag along for the first part of the consultation. When I talked to the doctor, in parentheses, who is an internationally respected doctor, my husband sat silent at first, then he asked when the psychological evaluation would happen. The doctor was puzzled and explained that I am an adult. My husband got irritated and almost yelled, "So you would not mind operating on people with body dysmorphia?" The doctor and nurse were shocked and I was livid. Oh, it's so stupid, man. It's so dumb, man brain. Hey man, why aren't you doing the thing that I want you to do so that I can control how my wife's body looks? What the fuck? When we got home, I was destroyed. I am scared I have lost my opportunity with the best surgeon in the country and probably one of the best in the world. I mean, I don't think you did, honey. I think you just gotta tell him, yeah, fuck my husband. Let's get these boobies chopped. My husband insisted I needed therapy and that he will not allow me to have the surgery because I look perfect. I mean, OP hasn't said it, but I can imagine that it's not just an aesthetic thing. I'm guessing if OP has some big badonka honks, her back is praying for this breast reduction. I don't know what brain dead man needs to hear this, but when you got fucking 20 pounds on your chest, your back curls like a fucking spoon. I should have said curves like a spoon. I know spoons don't really curl. Shut the fuck up. I asked him what he meant not allowing me. I was very angry and crying. He said, "Well, I will do anything. Tell your family you are mentally unstable and I will leave you." Yeah, bro, this sounds like a fucking keeper of a guy. I don't know who needs to hear this, but your husband says any of this kind of shit to you. You go, okay, leave. See ya, bitch. Like, that is an insane thing to say to your loved one. Thankfully, I made a new appointment and the doctor was too kind. I have my new appointment on Wednesday. My husband is livid and said he will never look at or touch me again. That sounds like a fat WW for you, OP. I don't know. Ages are OP is 42 and the husband is 40 if this is important. Shit, bro. Just take him up on his word. Be like, hey, my boobies are getting chopped and here are the divorce papers. Good luck, have fun, pussy. Like, it's giving little tater tot schlob on that bald man's knob. Thinks that his only priority in life should be to control his wife because that's the only way that he has value as a man. No boobs, no opinion. No, for real, bro. Were boobs carrying their marriage this whole time? That's sad. For real. Dude, if you're only with your wife for her boobs, you got some serious shit to reevaluate about yourself. I've never understood it, bro. Don't get me wrong. Big boobs, cool. Awesome. Fun. To me, it's not worth ruining my marriage over. And to me, it's not something that I could fall so deeply in love with. Like, they're great, but there's so many better things about being with a woman. Boobs ain't it. We have an update to this post, literally posted a day after the original post was made. The title of this one is "My husband said if I went ahead with surgery, he wanted a separation." So yesterday I was here complaining about my husband and my gut feelings were right after seeing the reactions here that my husband is crossing a boundary by trying to control how my body looks. So this morning I told him this. He just sat silently and listened to me. Then he said that he wasn't trying to control me or coerce me, but at the same breath, he said he loved my body, and if I am not taking his opinions into consideration, then he knows that I don't care about his opinion. He would not look at me the same way or touch me. I said that I didn't want to be married to someone who doesn't want to touch me, and he said that we won't be married then. In quotations, but remember that I love you, and you are breaking up with a man who loves you because of superficial changes you want to do to your body. He said he would stay for the recovery, then he moves out after Christmas. I said I was going ahead with my surgery, and he just shook his head. He cried later in the garden. I'm not trying to control you, but if you don't listen to my opinions, which are clearly the only opinions that matter in this situation, even though it's your body, this marriage just isn't gonna work. Like, this is like what is coming out now is like there are just people in this world that are truly so unbelievably dumb. You can lay it out in front of them with a fucking map made for a first grader and they are not able to put it together. Like, they are so stupid or so unwilling to like change their mind or their dog shit opinions that they just literally can't. Like, they're stuck in this way. And that's how this dude is. Like, he probably truly does think he's not trying to control his wife, but he is. This dude in the future is going to complain about the male loneliness epidemic without realizing that he causes the male loneliness epidemic. Like, you are literally crying in a garden because you caused a problem that, like, honestly shouldn't even be a problem. It should just be, hey, my wife got big honkers that hurt her back. They're pretty cool, but I could live with slightly smaller honkers, especially knowing that she is in a better, more comfortable situation. I don't get it. This is a Charlie Kirk stand for sure. These are the guys that don't believe in empathy, that think empathy is a plight to human existence. I can't believe him. He sounds final, like he has been thinking about divorce for a while. I've been waiting for this surgery for 2.5 years because of how busy this doctor is, and my preliminary surgery day is in November. I have a consultation soon. I am going ahead with my plans and he can go with his. According to him, if I am free to choose what I do with my body, he is free to leave when it doesn't suit him anymore. Girl, honestly, hell yeah. Get rid of that fucking idiot. Hopefully there are no kids involved, obviously, but you don't fucking need this loser. P.S. Many are asking about the surgery and it's a breast reduction, and no, I am not doing it for medical reasons since I have no back or head pains. I'm not that big to have these problems. It's purely cosmetic. This is the most important part of my beef with him. I know you mean well bringing up health benefits, but this is about my rights to control how I look. He would 100% have supported me if it was for medical reasons, because he has in the past. I don't think he would, high-key. All right, so maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's not about reducing the weight off their back, but I mean, even so, like, you should be able to do what you want. I think if you're deep in a marriage with somebody and they decide that they want to change something, like if your love was completely changed based off the one thing they changed about their body, the love wasn't even that good. Bet he would feel differently if she was getting them bigger. Absolutely. He's ending the marriage for superficial reasons. I wonder if it's like what she was talking about, where like maybe he was already thinking about this, but this was his excuse to finally pull the trigger on it. Either way, it's still bad, and it's not a good excuse. Like, I could totally understand if like he's like, hey, I'm not sure how this will affect my attraction to you, but your body, your choice, and then at least trying it. Like, to me, that's a little bit more valiant. Do I still think it's kind of ridiculous? Yes, but like, people are gonna like what they like, and like, I also think like, hey, at least give it a go. Hang with her post-surgery, nourish the relationship, and if you really can't do it, fine. At least you tried. That's more noble. But just to straight up be like, nah, bro, it's either big honkers or nothing. Stupid. Big old dumb idiot boy.